what these bitches want from it. Now I'm like, Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. I'm the guy. We're here. We minus one person today. What up, Noah? Yeah, he's not here today, but I got my main guy, the good guy. What up, Jared?
Hey, what's going on, Corde?
How we doing, man? How you doing? How was your week?
Good. I was on vacation, got a lot of stuff done. But Noah's got a job now.
Noah's got a fucking job. Hell yeah. I wish my little brother would get a job. That little boy, he just be in there yelling at his TV because he sucks at Fortnite. It is crazy. He just, you're like, you ain't do it. You just go. It's super. I'm just like, damn, dude. Me and my family all just like, he need to take up like a less violent thing. Like so I have a baby brother and a little brother. My baby brother, who's the guy who just sucks at Fortnite. My little brother was like, he need to start painting. Like
Bob Ross, that shit.
Yeah, Bob Ross. He's like, no, there's no mistakes. They're just happy trees. They're just happy trees. So it's funny as hell because like I have a twin. It's hella funny. I've been doing that thing for like a little week. It didn't work. Almost everybody who was like, I was trying to say, no, I got a twin. They was just like, all right, same last name, same tattoos. Like, yeah, same everything. So it was super funny because like this past week, I'm like, so school's over now. School's over, and then it was like the last day of school. Like it was like, Mr. Snell. And I'm like, what's up, yo? And he was like, can you can you take a picture with us? Or like, can you take a picture of us? I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna take a picture. And said, no, well, you be in the picture. And I was like, I follow you. And I was like, what? Like, it's so weird. So it is, I follow you. And I look at one of my other co-teachers who knows about it. And he's like, and I'm like, I can't fake this. And so I just go like this. Just make it super awkward. Just like, you don't get a picture of him. It's going to be super awkward. Okay, yeah, y'all have a good. He's like, look, I follow you. And they pulling up my Instagram and shit like that. You got to subscribe to the podcast, man. You ain't a real fan. You ain't subscribing. I'm just like, hey, shout out to y'all. Appreciate you. So school's out. This week went by super fast, but also like super long at the same time because being a teacher, you have to meet on these last like checks and cues and things like that. Like our finals was this week and things like that. So it's like you got to prepare all that. Then you got to get final grades in. Then you got to break down your classroom. Then everybody's asking you like, are you coming back and stuff like that. So it's a very very interesting thing. But now I'm chilling, I'm relaxing, I can't wait, and my summer has officially started. Hell yeah! So over the course of the summer, I'll try to do as many shows as possible, but many episodes as possible. But then I do a bunch of shows too. So next week, or when this episode drops, which is Monday, Wednesday, I will be in Phoenix, Arizona until Father's Day. So I don't know if we could probably put out a podcast next week, and then so we'll come back the following week, and then I'll be going to LA. Because I'm trying to do the Hollywood Improv out there. So try to hit the Hollywood Improv Comedy Store and try to figure out if I can stay for the entire week or several days, things like that. And then in July, I'm going to Texas. I haven't bought my ticket yet, but the plan is to go to Texas. And I'm trying to go out there, Austin, see Houston, have family out there. Maybe even try to go to Dallas and just try to do a whole thing of the Texas state and just try to see what it's like out there. Because random thing about it, Indeed be sending me job offers out in Austin, Texas. And I'm just like, man, I ain't trying to go out there. And then a bunch of people told me the Austin scene is hella dope. Actually, one of my homies said he's in Nashville right now too. And another comic said that Nashville is a dope scene as well. But it was super funny while he said he loves Nashville. Because I was like, that's it. Okay, so it was like funny as hell. But so yeah, like when I'm traveling throughout the summer, that's when I can do a lot more comedy. That's what I can do because I ain't gotta wake up tomorrow. Like I ain't got work tomorrow. I ain't gotta be somewhere tomorrow. Like specifically, like for work at like 8 a.m. or like 8:30, and I can't like call off like, oh, I gotta call in sick, things like that. So it's easier to plan out. And this is the first time like my June hasn't been like super packed full of like scheduled shows, and it's like weird because I remember usually like it's usually all right. Last day of school is this day. For the next 3 weeks, I have 7 shows or like 5 shows per week because I can do it. Like I'm gonna do like a San Luis Obispo run, like Pismo, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo, and Atascadero was like another one out there, and it's had like 4 shows lined up there. Then might have like a week of shows in SF in Oakland, like another week of shows like because the reason I'm going to Phoenix because it's like called the World Series of Comedy. I use it as a way to go to different comedy venues to try to bump elbows with like bookers and things like that, and just kind of see like where I stand on these other comedy scenes. And it's just a great way to kind of be seen elsewhere. And it's kind of expensive because because they don't fly you out. You gotta fly yourself out, and you gotta get a hotel, and you might get eliminated after like one night. So it's like bring your A game. And I remember the last time I did it, I did a Wednesday show and I did in advance, and I was like pissed, and it was like, oh well, you were talking about your dating and stuff, like, and then I was like working on the newer jokes that I was working on instead of remembering it's a contest. So I bring my A game, my best jokes that I know has been killing, I know has been doing well, and I did that set. And I didn't move on. Also, I told him I couldn't do the Saturday show. So I didn't move on from that standpoint. But then the booker came up to me and was like, hey, whenever you're in town, we got some time for you. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, hell yeah, that's what I came here to do. So then met a bunch of other comics who was like, oh, that shit was amazing. That shit was fucking dope. And I went first. Like the host went up, they had an okay set because I feel like the hosts or whatever at these things are also comics too. So they're going up kind of upset, like, oh, I'm going first, like, so I'm gonna just kind of shoo it in, like, or like, I'm like, man, come on, man, do it. And then I went up first, and it had a great set after going first. Usually, if you're going first, it's the hardest place to, like, usually like a build up of like good comics. Like, all right, he was like, okay. Then it's kind of like, oh, he was better, she was better, and then the guy like, and the last at the end, it's like that was fucking dope. Like the host had an okay set, and I brought the bar up. Like it was like real. Like good. I did like really well. And I was like, I even shocked myself. I was like, damn, I was kind of nervous. I was kind of upset that the host wasn't like really trying, because he wanted to go last, not host it. So he was like, oh, fuck, I got to host. So, and then I went up and I did really well. Everybody was like, oh shit, hey, that was set of the night, probably set of the night. And then I was watching other people who like went, next chick bombed, next dude bombed, next person like did okay, next person bombed, and one person did like good, but not like great. And then the one guy who beat me out, this had like a lot of one-liners, and it's kind of like, so it was like kind of a well-scripted thing. And then I found out that they penalize you if you cuss. And I didn't know I was cussing that much, but I cussed here and there. But yeah, and I was like, whatever. I'm like, because if you watched it, the guy did like good, like it was solid. It was a solid set. But I actually had like people like laughing, people like tuning in, like everybody rolling. Like I had older people laughing, which is the hardest people to make laugh because like I'm not from Arizona too, so it's like a different kind of older folks that you had to relate to. So it was like a bunch of like funny stuff. Like, oh my god, you're stupid! Like you're like if you got people like yelling at you because you like dumb funny like that, it is always the best feeling. So I was like, all right, well, okay. But I talked to the booker, and I'm going back too, so I'm gonna try to like rekindle that relationship, get another card or stuff like that, and just do my best while I'm out there. See some friends that I got out there, always meeting people. And I hit up my homie, and I might be doing Stir Crazy on Wednesday, which is another comedy club out there, another venue I can explore. And a lot of times I keep going to Arizona because my parents keep saying that's where they're going to retire to. They said that they might change it to Roseville or like some place up like Lincoln, like way up there. But it's just like a good place to connect. Like, well, if y'all going to be out here, let me come hang out and like see what the land of the way the land is. So, yeah.
Why did you get in trouble for date? Well, not in trouble. Why did they say dating was like a penalty or something like that? The club you were talking about earlier.
Oh no, so it was weird. It was basically I got penalized because they said we want to learn more about you. Everybody talks about dating. So why are you talking about that? Like, tell us more about yourself. Be more unique or something like that. But I'm just like, everybody up here has been talking about dating. Like this one chick said, like she's like, I'm a cougar, like kind of thing. Like young guys like me, like And I was just like, I was trying to take it like in a different atmosphere, but they were saying like, nah, that's not really like we all hear about dating stuff. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fine. Then I'm thinking maybe because this is still like for me like a newer joke that I'm doing, but it was doing well at the time instead of like a killer joke, So I'm like maybe I was stubborn with that, and I was like. And I didn't understand the feedback either. Like, and then also, I remember I was laughing a lot of my jokes, which I do sometimes, especially with the audience laughs. I laugh back. They was like, your laughs seem fake. I was like, I find myself hilarious. What are you talking about? Like I'm not laughing to laugh, like to be fake. Like, I'm like, and sometimes I do like laugh at, because I like the jokes that I tell, and like I do laugh at them, especially like some of them, because I'm like, that was stupid. Like I love some jokes because they're stupid to me, and like I like them a lot. And it's always weird when they're not like hitting, and I'm like, y'all don't understand how funny this shit is. Like y'all ain't relating. So it was funny. And then it's weird because like judges give you like random feedback, like, oh, you like you're talking like kind of fast, and I'm just like, we only have 7 minutes, but also like I'm a high energy guy. But you should have got in the background. You should have told us about that. Like tell you that I'm a high energy person on stage. Like that doesn't seem organic. That seems more like I'm telling you like hey, I'm like real high energy, yada yada yada. Da, 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 da. I'm just like that. You can't tell that I'm high energy. He was like, oh, we thought you was kind of nervous. I was like, no. I was like, I'm just high energy, which is always weird because you see big guys, you expect them to be like slow, calm, like sluggish. I'm like, no, I'm the opposite of that. I'm like Chris Tucker give you like very animated, like all that kind of stuff. And that's naturally how I am. Like you can see me on the podcast. My hands is always, when I'm clipping stuff up, it's always like my hand is out of focus, which is always the hardest thing. So yeah, I'm just like, what? That doesn't make sense. So sometimes they give you notes and you try to use those notes and then they come back on the notes and give you some other feedback. And I'm just like, all right, okay, whatever. This doesn't make that much sense at all. So,
do you notice different styles of comedy in different parts of the country?
Yeah. I mean, like usually the constant one is always like a slow, awkward pace like this, right?
Noah's specialty.
No, especially, yeah. And so I felt like that's like a big thing. And a lot of times, I'll be honest, like a lot of urban comics have high energy and like very different style. And then like a lot of times if it's like very slow like this, you immediately think, oh, he was nervous. No, this is how we are. We have energy. And then we don't relate to the slow stuff because it's like why are you tired? Like, what are you? Because that's how we see it. You see us as nervous. We see you like, oh, this person was tired. This person is like, why is this person so awkward on stage? Like, damn, like get through it. Like, are they drunk? Like, you know, because it'd be like, we too slow. Like, are you slurring your words? Are you drunk? What's going on? So it'd be kind of a whole different vibe and a whole different feel. So it's like but that's a common one. Or the jerks, usually like somebody who's making jerks, or like some women be like super explicit, kind of a thing. Or I'll be noticing like pretty girl comedy, which I hate, where it's more about like, oh, you know, like I'm sexy, I'm gorgeous, like, you know, pay attention, like, but like don't worry about what I'm saying. You should just pay attention instead of like you should have to capture me with jokes. Like a lot of times, like I don't know what's wrong with the crowd tonight. I don't know what's wrong with the crowd, you know. But like the one chick I was telling, she was telling about her dating life, older lady who brought a bunch of people, and then like she's older too, so it's like older crowd. So they're just like, yeah, girl, get it. Like, oh my God, you day drink? That's so amazing at 50. Like, oh my, young dudes love you? Oh my God. Like, I'm just like, yo, other people bringing stuff too. Like, I'm talking about the same stuff, just like at a younger perspective. So it's like that kind of feel too. So I'm just like, and it's just like, yeah, older people love her. And like, that's sometimes who comes like at a competition. If there's like a lot of older people, the older female comic who talks about, oh my God, girl, like, do you know, like, these young dudes are after me. I'm divorced. I dumped his ass. Like, yeah, go for you. Yeah. And then the dude's like, oh, okay, calm down. Whatever. So I'm like, how do you compete against a demographic because you relate because you old? So it's kind of like another weird thing. But yeah, man, it's just, yeah. Competitions are what it is. You know, you experience them to try to get the best out of it. But then also that's why I'm trying to hit up other places while I'm there. I'm trying to explore Arizona more instead of just like last time I was just in the hotel chilling all the time. Shout out to Molly McGee. I was at her hotel. She let me stay with her. So it was super cool. She's like, we're going to go to the pool. And I was just like, eventually I was like, nah, I don't want to go to the pool. And then I was just sitting there like all day. I was like, you trying to go to the pool or what? But she's like, I'm kind of sleepy. I'm like, all right, cool. So I just sat up and watched The Office or How I Met Your Mother. Like it was like some good shows, some good television. But this time I got my own hotel, and I'm gonna rent a car too, because I think like everything around Arizona is like 20, 30 minutes away, which isn't far, but Uber and everywhere, shit gets pricey. So I'm just like renting a car. I think it was $17 a day. I'm like, fuck yeah. Versus one trip might be 35. Like, remember when I left the airport, from the airport to the hotel was $35. I'm like, that's 2 days of expensive as fuck. I'm like, that's 2 days of a rented car right there. Like, I fucking, you know, so yeah. And I'll be out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then come back Sunday morning to the Bay. So yeah, be chill.
Did you see Jose Contreras' clip about like comedy clicks in scenes?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That was a very honest thing too. Like I'm starting to realize it more that like a lot of comedy scenes, or even just, I realize a lot of everything is like high school. Very cliquey, very popular group, very this, very that. It's a lot of And I'm always trying to break this down. Like, and if I think about it, Jose Contreras like put that very eloquently, and it's a dope breakdown of it. Because a lot of times, I've talked, you talk like one on one, and it's a different tone and it's different kind of because it gets frustrating, right? Like you have these clickiness in every scene in the Bay Area scene in the in Santa Barbara scenes. It was like Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard. It was like, I call it 805 because it's like it's one Central Coast thing. Probably the same thing in LA and other places where yeah, you get people become very clicky, and it's always been like that. When I first started, it was East Bay versus San Francisco, and San Francisco would always click up with each other and always leave the East Bay out. And then East Bay like had to kind of fiend for themselves, had to create their own shows, had to come up with ways that they can get booked. A lot of people went to Tommy T's because of that. But it's like that's the one club that will give everybody an opportunity. Black, white, Latino, Hispanic, even though it's like a very black and like Latino club, white people can go there. No, there's no judgment. Come here, get your time. You go there. Noah goes there, stuff like that. You but see like a bunch of other white comics like going there, getting time. Then you go to like places like SF, and it's very more like, oh, well, you have to change your entire style. You have to relate to us, kind of a thing. And I remember, shout out to Matt Guzner, but I remember even him, who was like in charge of everything Bacon, like Bay Area Comedy Network, he thought that East Bay comics put on shows in East Bay because they didn't want to be on SF shows. And I'm like, if you're like the head of Bacon, then if you don't see it, then nobody's gonna see it. I'm like, no, that's not what happened. I was like, SF shows were very SF friendly, very SF people. And then even so nowadays, it's where people who not even from SF are clicking up like SF comics beforehand and then putting on their own damn shows. Like it's like super crazy. Like, hey, can I get on your show? And it's super weird too, because they'll make it like super hard to get on their shows, but then they want to come do your shows like all the time. And it's kind of like, or like, hey, well, can I do your show? I'm like, well, you never put me on your show. And it's like, oh, well, no, we're cool. Like, I'll get you on the show. You do their show, and then they don't put you on their show, stuff like that. I've seen of now, like Cheaper Than Therapy is like a show that I've always seen like a lot of people on. I've seen a lot more East Bay comics, a lot more everyone being able to go on the shows now, which I'm like super excited about. Like I want to hit them up to do it again. But before it was like very, oh, just us can do the show. Just us, like a lot of people who hang out in SF or sometimes hanging out with them in like some bars. Like I work in the morning, so I can't always hang out. But then also when you hang out, like this ain't really what I like to do. Like, sometimes you just hang around drinking till like late, like 2 a.m. And I'm like, I could drink till 10. I could drink till 11, not 2. But I could drink like till like, a little bit. And then sometimes you go around and you feel awkward because they're not including you in and things like that. So it's sometimes you have to like try to insert yourself in these cliques. And sometimes you just like, these people are cool. They're fellow comics, but that's not like, I'm not interested in what you're doing. But yeah, so it's like, it becomes very weird. And it's been a problem like this forever. Like I remember there was this group, it was like the Bay Boys of comedy. And a lot of them like were older guys, and they always have problems with the punchline. They wouldn't go to punchline because I always felt like, why would I wait like 8 months when I'm funnier than all these motherfuckers on stage? And I'm just like, that's cool, but if y'all like would have just stuck with it and shown that you're funnier than all these other people, like you would have been on that stage too. Like I feel like it's a weeding out process, And sometimes what weeding out process is, it sounds like it's a good thing to have. Like we want to see if you're serious about it, but also sometimes weeding out everybody doesn't always get the best people. Sometimes you just get like, it gets the people who constantly go, and then it's like the people who constantly doing it. And then it's also, sometimes it seems like where the people who get rewarded have a certain style that works in SF instead of a comedy style that works, And like,
it's actually very regional comedy. It's not objectively good comedy.
Exactly. So it's like, all right, this is a very regional style. We like this style. This is the style that we have here. This type of comedians we have here. And I've hosted like different places, different venues and stuff like that. And I know I do well in San Jose. I do well in Alameda, sometimes here and there, because sometimes the crowd who comes out don't know me, but then also I feel like sometimes they don't know the headliner too. So it's kind of like, well, who, like, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of comedians on this random show, kind of a thing. But, as long as you're on it and you're staying funny, or I try to like figure out certain jokes. Like I have like one joke that I know usually brings people in. It's kind of like a back and forth. When you bring a back and forth with people, it creates it's more of a, oh, he's bringing us into the show instead of him just doing his act. And that usually always helps. Like it kind of, but then sometimes people don't like to interact. They're like, oh, I don't want to answer questions. I didn't know this was going to be a Q&A portion of the show. That's not what I came here for. I just wanted to hear some jokes and eat and drink some, and then just speak with my partner, my girlfriend, my wife.
Yeah.
Or I didn't want to go ahead and just talk. I wasn't ready for that. And especially people who sit up front. And I was like, you sit up front, like, hey, appreciate you. Like, okay, like, oh, you gonna pick on us? Like, no, not really. Like, I pick on people in the back. I do that specifically because, you know, people who sit up front, like, I don't want to be up here. Why'd you sit us right here? God, and I'm like, don't say nothing. Don't let them look at you like, please don't say nothing. Don't say nothing to me, please. Please, like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You good? You good? And I'm like, now I go over them and you just see like this, you know,
Yeah.
should leave or whatever. But then you got some people who sit up front and they want to talk to you, and I purposely talk to them people and I put them in a place. It's always funny. Or the easiest and funniest hack that I always do is when I'm at a show and somebody keep yelling out, and I just be like, if you would have got here earlier, we could have had an actual discussion, like kind of or if you paid $10 more, we could be, if I could see you, I could talk to you, but since you wanted to be late or you didn't want to pay more, your cheap ass is in the back, all right? And I'm like, oh, and then I was coming to me, I'm not cheap. It was my homegirl. She fucking always take it forever. She made us late because we was supposed to be up front, but by the time it came, our seats got given away, so we back here in the back, so it's not my fault. It's her fault. And then usually the chick who always made them late is gorgeous. I don't
yeah, she's not on anyone's time but her own.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, like, why you? And then you got to make fun of them. Why are you making your friends late? You know they wanted to come to the show. What's your IG?
It's just a habit for you. Let me look you up.
Yeah, it's a habit for you. Let me actually see if you late everywhere. Like, oh, like in the comments, like looking good as hell right here. But said the club. Like, what time the club open? 10:30? What time you got there? 12? Which is always fucking annoying. And it's a nuisance and an inconvenience. It's super crazy. Real quick, I'm gonna keep plugging this like every week until we get there. August 23rd, October 23rd, I will be headlining the San Jose Improv. That's a Wednesday. Tickets are now available on the San Jose Improv.com. I'll be hosting or featuring from now up until then. So come on out, see me, but I'll be headlining that time, 8 p.m. Wednesday, October 23rd. Yeah, super excited about that. But yeah, back to the ready to schedule program. But yeah, inconvenience and shit like that. Like, reminds me, was another time in Vegas. Another time in Vegas was super cool. Like, I showed you guys a few pictures or whatever, right? And he was like, this is how Get Out started. And I was like, nah, bro, this is not how it started at all. It was funny because I went to Vegas 2 times in 3 weeks. It was crazy. It was like, I went once with my homies, like, and it was super dope. It was fucking amazing. We all like stayed in like this suite. It was like 2 rooms, and then it was like a big ass living room. So it was like 11 of us. So we like divided up what we was gonna sleep in, and the couch was fucking huge, so everybody could sleep on the couch. We didn't have to like sleep on the floor, right? We had these wristbands, like an itinerary. We had like a pool party, 4 clubs, like 3 pool parties or something, and then like 2 like late night spots that we could have went to. It was dope as shit, right? And we like, you know, just going out with the homies, you know, we started ready at 8:30, 9. We all dressed and ready out, done by 10. 3 weeks later, I went with my family. Oh my God, I went with my family. It was my sister, her friend. They took like forever. They would start getting ready at 10:30. It's like me and my cousin and my other cousin, and they're like, man, what the heck y'all doing? Like, we getting ready. Like, it's 10:30. We didn't get to the club till 12. Like, it was. Then you gotta like, you need this long ass line, and I see people like the wristbands, like just like oh, you guys good? They cutting, like, why they cutting line? Oh, they got wristbands. And then I was like, I remember that life. That life was good 3 weeks ago. Like, kind of a. I was like, we gotta get here early. What the fuck wrong with y'all? But I remember the first time we went out, we didn't get there till 1. Luckily the club stayed up until 4. So why are you stressing? The club stayed up until 4. I was like, I ain't trying to be there till 4. Like, you know, prime stuff is like from 10 to 2, you know, and then we could probably hit like a late night spot. It was like, well, we go to the late night spot after that. I'm like, no, because y'all gonna want to go which in every way, right? So it was crazy. First few nights, I remember one time, this was so crazy. I remember they was like, oh, it's 15 or 10 or 15 to get in, right? And then I remember I showed a lady this pass. Right, so I'm like, okay, I got about to get a discount. It's 35 now. Bitch, I said no. I handed her a 20 and I walked past her. He's like, he's not paying. I was like, she just said it was 20. Now all of a sudden it's 35. And he was like, it's 35 now. I was like, how's it 35 with this pass? It's like, oh, that pass expired. I was like, so why did it go up $15? I was like, here's my 20. Am I doing no more shit? Like, I ain't doing all this, right? And then it was the first time I ever seen somebody you had to pay the bouncer to cut the line. Because it was like a group of people, like a huge, like probably like 40, 50 people waiting to get in, and it's just like bouncers going around, like, just wait a little minute, and then and then a few people will pay the bouncer, put a little 40 in, and then all of a sudden, now you could come in all of a sudden, but you could just come in to get in line to pay for the club. That's what we found out. He was like, I thought we paid the dude. So he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you paid him, like, because you still got to pay to get in. So that was hella funny. And then so I'm at the spot, and then so it was like me and my cousin who's hella cool too. We gonna get drinks, we're gonna be the dance floor, right? And then my sister and her friend, like, they like dance or whatever, and then they get lost. My mom got mad. She's like, you left your sister. I was like, no, I didn't leave her. They left and went somewhere else, right? So then me and my cousin there, and then and then he danced with somebody. I'm dancing with somebody. Then just start making out with this female. Like, I just started making out with this one chick. He was like, what the hell you making out with chicks, shit like that? I was like, I don't know, we in Vegas, you know? So leads to the next night where first night we was at one spot till late. The next spot we had to pay to get into the spot. Then third night my cousin had left because he could only be out there for like a few days, and then he went home. And then my birthday fell like on a Monday, Tuesday kind of a thing. So he was like, well, I don't feel like going out. It's a weekday. I was like, man, I want to go out. My mom was like, no, you should stay here. Wait for it to go out tomorrow. And then my mom's best friend, she was like, he 22, 23. Why he got to stay here? He a grown man. He could do what he wants. So then I went out and I called like the same chicks who I met up the night before. And that's where the picture I showed you was like me. And it's like 4 girls. She was dope. That shit was not a get out moment. That shit was cool as shit. It was because the chick who I made out with the night before, she was there. And then the funny about it, she had a friend there too. It was 4 of them. So it was the chick I made out with the night before, another chick, and then it was like 2 other friends of theirs, right? And the other 2 friends was cool, but the chick I made out with, like, we was cool, we was chilling. Then her other friend liked me too. And I didn't know she liked me. And she's like, oh yeah, you with such and such, and yada, yada, yada. It's like, she's cool, but I'm better. I was like, oh shit, like you, like, it's like, yeah, I mean, like, I saw you hanging out with her. That's cool. You should hang out with me though. And I'm like, oh damn. Like,
these girls are friends?
These girls are friends. Like, this girl was on like proud. She was like, well, last night you was hanging out with her and dancing with her, but I was with the guy, so whatever. I was like, what's your friend? I was like, is that your dude? She's like, no, just some guy or whatever. I was like, didn't you kiss him? I was like, he kissed me. It's like, but if he didn't kiss me, I might have took you from her. I was like, you might have took me from her. I was making out with her. She was like, so? And I was like, oh my God. Like, this is whole nother status right here. So then it was funny because, like, I seem like the ultimate pimp because it's me and it's like 4 girls around me. And then a few other dudes come up to me. So which one? Who's with you? Which one? I was like, well, I'm kind of with all of them. They was like, I see you play. I was like, yeah. I was like, we all like hanging out. And it was like, so which one is yours? I was like, actually, 2 of them is mine. They was like, what? 2 of them? I was like, yeah. I was like, her right there and the blonde. I was like, we was making out all night last night. It's like, what about the redhead? I was like, the redhead actually wants to steal me from her. So those 2 are off limits. I was like, but the chick with the piercing right here, she down, she cool. And then the other one who's kind of like more quiet, she might be a little more freaky, but like you just gotta probably talk to her and warm her up. But she's like upset that she didn't get talked to by nobody. So if I was you, I'd probably talk to her because you probably might have a good night with her. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but she's mad that everybody else is hooking up and she not. So that's my advice to you, brother. And then he didn't listen. He tried to get at the chick with the red hair who like liked me. And she was like, walked over. He was like, oh, what's up? Yada, yada, yada. She was like, it's like, didn't he say I was with him? Like, I'm with him. And the other chick who was like blonde hair, like she was like, he's like, oh, you heard? He was like, yeah, we kind of, he came to see me. And so, and then I think he ended up dancing with the chick with the blonde hair. And like, and then he tried to kiss her. She was just like, yeah, no. She was like, no, that's not gonna happen. So then the funny thing about it, dude was dancing with the blonde chick, And so the redhead saw as an opportunity to steal me away from her, which she did. Like we went over. She's like, oh, I see y'all dancing. Let's go. Like Corde, you want a drink? Let's go get some drinks, right? Whole time going to get drinks. She holding my hand. She over here like, I saw like, so do you like my friend? Like I was like, I mean, she cool, whatever. She's like, well, I like you more. And I was like, well, if you like me so much, why don't you kiss me? And then we started making out. And I was like, oh my God, this is happening. I was like crazy. Because I was just making out with the blonde chick, not making out with the redhead. I was like, this is cool as shit. Like, this was like crazy as hell. And so then one second I'm making out with the chick in the red. And then other times I'm making out with the blonde haired chick. Because at this point we came back together. The blonde haired chick, she's like,
same night.
Same night. Not even minutes from each other. Okay, at one point, the blonde chick was dancing right here, and the redhead chick was dancing right here. They was both dancing up on me and stuff like that. And then so the blonde chick would make out with me and stuff like that. And then she'd be like, woo, look away. And then the redhead would just pull my head and then start making out with me. And I was like, I am the fucking man, right? And then at this point, it's like 12, it's my birthday. And I was like, what a way to bring in your birthday in Vegas. I was like, good thing I went out. Good thing my mom didn't say stay at home or stay at the hotel and stuff. I was like, this is amazing. This is great. What can happen next? Maybe a threesome could happen. Maybe that can happen, right?
I was to say, it's hard to tell if they're in competition or in cahoots.
I don't know. I was ready for anything though, right? So then we leave. We leave because the club's closing. It's like 2:33 or something like that, or I think it was 3:30. They was like closed. I was like, I thought y'all closed at 4. That's on the weekends. No, it closed like 2. That's the weekend. It's like I was like, well, what's wrong with this today and the weekend? It's like it's a Tuesday. It was like It was like, so where should we go? It was like, we'll catch a cab, and I was like, well, I'll catch a cab. It's like, yeah, you know. And then the redhead was like, you ain't going nowhere. Like, I was like, oh hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah, right? So then we go in and we all hop in the car, and then it was remember the one chick who I said was mad that nobody was like hooking up with her, nobody talking to her. So she meets some dude, they talking for like a damn hour. They trying to tell her to come on, and she's like go and stuff like that. And then she's like, girl, come on. And she was like, I'm fine. I'll find y'all. Don't worry about me. And so we gotta leave tomorrow. She's like, I'm fine. I know my itinerary for what time I have to be at the airport and the flight. I'll find y'all. Like, and I was like, oh shit. Like, she was seriously about, yeah. So then we all go back to their hotel, and they don't remember where they're supposed to be at. And so they're talking, like the blonde haired chick and one of the other friends is talking to like the bellhop, and the redhead with me again, making out with me. She's like, so what we gonna do? I was like, I don't know. I was like, it's kind of weird. Your girl right there. She's like, yeah, but she's not looking. Kiss me. And look, she's not gonna kiss me. And then she turned her, and then she kissed me again. And then she saw me. She's like, I was like, right. So then we making our way, and then we get split up at one point. Like me and the redhead get split up from like the blonde hair chick and her other friend. But I'm mad because I was like, oh, cool, we can hurry up and go to the hotel room, maybe get something started, stuff like that. And the redhead told me, I don't have my card. I don't have my card to get in the room. I was like, are you like, what? You had one goal. You had one thing to do. It's like, well, she has it. She has my purse and stuff. And I was like, so how we going to, she's like, I don't know. You trying to have sex on the floor? And I was like, I'm down. I don't think the casino would be down though. Like, I don't think that would be. And I was like, you're not gonna come back to me. She's like, no. I was like, yeah, it's all right. So we like figuring out how to get to where the fucking elevator is because it's late. We're tired, and then she doesn't know where it is. And eventually we kind of come back together, find the other two chicks, and then we go upstairs. Right? We go upstairs. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, then the blonde hair chick, she's like, you like my friend? I was as she's kissing me. I'm like, yeah, she's cool. She's like, okay, kiss me. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, don't blow this, Corde, don't blow this, right? So I get up in the hotel, stuff like that, and then like the redhead was like, I don't know why you keep messing with her. You need to stop entertaining her. You need to be with me. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, why is that? She's like, well, she has a boyfriend. And I was like, oh shit. So then one of the friends goes and just...
She tells you this now.
Yeah, she tells me this now. Yeah. So that was like the main reason why she was trying to steal me from her. And then so one friend goes, like, gets like undressed, like not fully, but then just goes, she's like, I'm going to sleep. And like just gets in the bed and like turns away from everything. Like, and I won't hear anything. Like giving like the okay, like, yeah, whatever y'all doing, I'm be sleep. And then so the redhead's just like, so like what? And then like her friends in the... So I'm like, I should have hopped in bed with them And I was like, well, come over here. Like, I don't know. And she was like, oh, and then so I hopped in the bed. She's like, it's not enough room for everybody. And I was like, okay, well, come over here. She's like, well, that's her bed. And the other chick who abandoned us bed. And then so I'm like, okay, cool. So we like make out a few different times. And then blonde hair chick comes back out, sits in my lap, starts kissing me again. And then I was like, oh, cool. So she's like, okay, baby, love you. You're great. But you gotta go. What? She's like, you gotta go. I was like, why I gotta go? She was like, you gotta go. I was like, I can't stay with, no, you gotta go. And then she starts like getting an attitude because I won't leave. She's like, well, you was kissing her and I'm supposed to be with me, but you kissing her and stuff like that. So you gotta go. I was like, well, can I just stay here with you? And she was like she said, you gotta go. I was like, well, can I use the bathroom? So I just used the bathroom, and then I heard them like arguing. It's like, I liked him, so I liked him too. She's like, you have a boyfriend. She's like, it's like, yeah, so you have a boyfriend. I don't. I want to be. And I'm just like, oh shit. It was like, so what we gonna do? It's like, he has to go. So he doesn't have to go. He's like, yes, he does. Like, she's like, you still owe me for this room. So I was just like, oh. And then I'm just like, okay. So I walk out like, hey, and I walk over to the bed. It's like, nope, you gotta go. Like the blonde hair was like, you gotta go.
Trying to do
I don't know, man. I don't know. I was like, I don't know, because I'm just like, I figured there's 2 against 1, the 2 girls and the 1 chick, and I'm like, if somebody will say no, he can stay, overrule you, and then she's like, no, you gotta go, and then I'm mad because at this point I'm mad, so I long make out session with the red hair chick. Well, actually, the blonde chick kissed me goodbye, and then I was like, okay, well, let me just say bye to her. And the redhead chick kissed me like super passionately before I got to go. I was like, wish I wasn't leaving. Sad. I wish she wasn't leaving either. And then the blonde hair chick was like, you can go now. And I was like, damn, what the hell? And she's like, just, I don't know. I was like, you don't have like come to get like threesome or something? Like, nope. And I was like, do you have a boyfriend? She was like, ah. And I was like, is that why I'm leaving? Because you have a boyfriend? She was like, I mean, kind of. Like, I'm not trying to cheat. And I'm just like, you've been making out with me for 2 days, but you don't want to cheat? She's like, I mean, I only go so I don't know. It's like, I don't want it to regret it. I was like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like, so you don't have no condoms. I was like, who ain't got no condoms? I pulled out some condoms. And she's like, well, you have condoms. I was like, I got them from the bathroom, like the bell, whatever, the bellhop, whatever. Like, you know, she's like, oh, so you just thought you was having sex? I was like, no. But
no, I think I come back to a girl's hotel room to play checkers.
Yeah. So yeah, man. And then I was just there. I'm just like, fuck. What could have been? Like, it just.
I'm just impressed that you kept trying to, like, when it was clearly not going your way.
well. So I'm looking at it like this. Okay, the blonde hair chick is gonna be mad, and whatever. Redhead. So the whole time, like towards the end, like. Blonde hair chick was she was still kind of like flirting with me too, doing stuff. And then so was redhead chick, but like on a whole nother level. Like it's going to go down. It's going to go like, so I'm like, all right, is blonde hair chick the only one kicking me out, or do all y'all want me to go? And I'm like, cause then if y'all other 2 don't want me to go, like y'all could talk us out, or it's just kick me out regardless kind of a thing. I'm just like, that's why I'm asking. Cause I'm like, is it just you who want me to go, or do all y'all want me to go? Or do you want me to stay? Cause I want you to stay. I'm like, well, can't you overrule her, or kind of like that kind of a thing? So
that's like blonde girl paid for the room though.
Yeah. So yeah. And then that's when I heard that, I was like, oh, it's like, yeah, she kind of, I was like, oh, you paid for the room. She's like, I was like, okay, well that trumps everything. So she's like, you, him go find. I think she said, if you really want him, you and him can go pay for another room to fuck in. And then I was just like, I got money. So she's like, no. She's like, no, because this crazy bitch will throw out all my stuff. And I was just like, I mean, we saw the bellhop downstairs. I was like, we could kind of. She was like, no, it's okay. She's like, so I gotta go fly home with them. I think that was another thing too. That was flying out in the morning. So that was like another crazy thing as well. So yeah, shout out to
Crazy Girls in Vegas.
Crazy Girls in Vegas, man. It was a crazy ass night. So yeah, that was dope ass night.
At no point anyone tried to, no old white person tried to take over your body.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm
man.
buying it.
No. This was 2011 or 2012, so that was before that. But it probably. But yeah, that was just a great story. I remember I came up on those pictures because because camera roll from whatever. So I was like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I never told this story, huh? And so what happens in Vegas part 2, I guess. I don't know, man. But that was a dope ass time. I was like, fuck. I was like, the time I almost had a threesome. That was so close. And I was just like, dang, this is a good night. It could have been better, but I was just like, still in my head, I was like, well, I got to make out with 2 girls for like a whole night. And so it was cool. That same chick, I remember hit me up for I think about a year or so. She wanted me to, she lived in Canada. She lived in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. So she wanted me to come out there. And I didn't have a passport. I was like, oh, go. I looked up tickets and it was like $500. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Because I didn't know what would happen if I actually went out there. Like, we're going to continue from like whatever. But I remember she was like super cute. I was like, fuck, I should have went. Like, I should have, like, thinking back on it, I'm like, fuck, I should have got a passport and went out to Canada. Because I'd never been to Canada. And I was like, well, I was like, I don't know nobody in Canada. What happens? Something goes wrong, or like if I get like abducted or some shit. Like, I'm in international waters. It was all that crazy shit in my head. And she was like, "What do you think was gonna happen?" I was like, "I don't know. What do you think was gonna happen?" She's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Was he gonna continue from Vegas?" She's like, "Maybe." I was like, "You thought something like you thought it was gonna set up?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." She's like, "Why would we set you up?" I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "Well, something almost happened. If my blonde friend wasn't hating, something would have went down. It would have been a great night in Vegas." I was like, "Yeah." Would have been a great night. She's like, I mean, because she shouldn't have been talking to you in the first place. She had a boyfriend the whole time. I knew this wasn't going to go well. She's like, she had a boyfriend. I didn't. I was like, so what would have went down? She was like, you had a great 2 nights in Vegas. I was like, God damn. I was like, shit. So should have went to Ottawa, man. Should have went to Ottawa.
Tell her to go back to Vegas.
Yeah. That's why I said it. I said that too. But this how crazy it was. I was like, when you going back to Vegas? She's like, I don't know, probably not for a while. I was like, why not? She was like, oh, I'm finishing up undergrad and then I'm about to go for a PhD. And then this is redhead, by the way. And I was like, fuck, I should have went to Ottawa. I was like, PhD? Like, she's like she got a PhD in psychology about something. Like, we kept in touch over the years. I was like, damn, this bitch was like, just really liked me. And I thought she was just like, kind of like a hoe. She wasn't.
Yeah.
She just really liked me.
She was just in Vegas.
And then she was like, oh, I'm like PhD. I'm finishing my undergrad. And then I have to do my dissertation. And like, I was like, oh my God. Like, this is like one of the one times when you like, oh no, it's just in Vegas having a good time. Funny about it, she was Canadian and didn't have an accent though. I was like, where's your accent? Like, what did you say? Do you say like, what is it? Mate or something like that? Or something, whatever they say.
Yeah.
Like, and so none of that. Just,
yeah, I feel like a lot of Canadians don't really have an accent if they're from the bigger cities.
Yeah.
I have a friend from Toronto, and like he now lives in Brooklyn, but you'd never know.
Yeah.
And he grew up his whole life there, like only came here after college.
Yeah. And I was just like, this is crazy. So
American
I was like,
TV is superior.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what I think she said. We watch a ton of American sitcoms. So yeah. And then I remember she named a few like black sitcoms because I think they had just came over at that point because it was like a lot of like the Steve Harvey Show, like the Parkers, like all like Moesha, all those ones that was huge in the 90s just came in like 2009. So to them it's new shows. It was like, is Steve Harvey big?
That's like, right. They get all the shows later.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it was like, is Steve Harvey big? I was like, kinda. It's like, is he still like, he's super funny. Like, is the Steve Harvey show still going? Like, what is it, like season 30 now? And I was like, no, they canceled that a long time ago. Like, really? Like, we're on season 2. Like, I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, he does stand up. They was like, oh, he's like, I can't wait to see him. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that shit is dope. And it was like, have you seen the Parkers? And I was like, girl, what you know about the Parkers? Like, that's like what, what's her name? Monique, and like she had a daughter. Like, it was super dope. It was like and then Moesha was also Brandy. Like, also, Brandy is super slept on. Like, she can act and like she had a whole like hit TV show and a whole ass singing career at the same time. Like, she had like 2 personalities, kind of a thing. Like, where, because you know nowadays you need the one or the other. Like Dave, for instance, right? He stopped rapping as much and he has like a dope ass show. She had a dope ass show that came on all the time and was putting out like dope, like, I don't know if they was going platinum, but back in the 90s it was like gold was like basically platinum, like double platinum. So like, I'm like, yo, shit, like she was dating Mace at the time, like when he was like super big and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, like Moesha's really slept on. Kind of like how Martin had like was a dope ass comic and he had a dope TV series. Like, Moesha was probably like the best female led TV show. Also, I think it was the only one like especially like for a black female on TV then, and still dope like R&B singer. So it's like, yo, how you can do that? Like kind of a sense. So it really shows how talented Brandy was. And like now she's not as relevant now, but she had the game on lock for like most of the 90s, which is super dope.
Yeah, it is weird that there must have been some sort of media changeover, because I feel like a lot of celebrities fall off after the 90s end.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pin it down to like, oh, this is when YouTube started, or you know what I mean? Like some of those things you could see right away. Like people unable to transition from radio to TV or silent films to I want to say colored films, but that's not right. But like
colored films. Films with TV or color in them. Like that, I guess.
But yeah, something just happens in the 90s that it just, the taste changes so fast.
So much, yeah.
And it's like some people adapt and other people die. Like Ashton Kutcher, he transitions, but because he starts a show called Punk'd.
Yeah.
Like he becomes a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So
completely different thing. People didn't know he was like kind of funny and stuff like that. That 70s show had like a huge run, and then also he was in like other stuff as well. Then he became like a sex symbol, a sex phenom. I was like, what? And then it's funny because I remember he was punking celebrities, and then that became like the huge thing. Like, we're gonna prank celebrities. So it was like, yeah, okay, that's dope as hell. It was like, yo, so he loves his one car, yada yada yada. And then it was like, and he did season 2, but then he did season 3, but he told everybody that it was canceled. So that's why it was. I thought this show got canceled. Like, what the hell? But it felt like the 3rd season at that point, it was kind of like people was known was going on, or like they wouldn't take as many risks, like just before like an altercation might happen, or somebody just, not even an altercation, but somebody would start yelling at somebody, they would come out, it was like, you've been punked, and it was like, oh damn, you son of a, like, so
I heard a lot of stuff had to get cut because these celebrities would go off.
Oh yeah,
and it would make them look really, really bad.
Yeah.
So they had to really cut the episodes in a certain way.
Oh yeah,
because they're celebrities. Like they're not just gonna take this lying down. Some of
yeah.
these people were like, "I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah,
you know who I am."
Andy Dick was one of those. He was like, I think they pranked him, and I think it took. It seemed like one of those, like they had to edit up a lot of stuff. It was like, let me the fuck, who are you? Yeah. Who are you? Kind of like, get the fuck out of my face. Like I remember they bleeped out a lot of his stuff. I remember that one.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I was like, who are you? And then I remember another one, the chick from American Pie, the blonde haired one, who
the mom?
No, not the mom. Come on now. She's gorgeous. Stifler's mom? Come on now. You don't forget her. You don't forget her. But oh shit.
I'll grab that in a second. Okay. Hold on. Just maybe don't touch it.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so you said it was one of the chicks who, remember the one in the first one, the dude was trying to have sex with his girl, and then like he had never given her an orgasm, but he had got the book, stuff like that.
Vaguely. I haven't watched that movie in years.
Okay, yeah.
But I think is it Brittany Snow? I feel like it's somebody who looks like her.
Yeah, could be. But I remember it's like they punked her, and it was like whatever kind of a thing, but she shot a cushion at the end, and then that's when they like, oh, let's go in, like, oh, like, with your prank. She's like, oh, you asshole, fucking, like, boop, 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 boop. But I was like, you should let this go. I like this reaction more than like the little, because it seemed like it'd be like a little something, and then like as soon as it might like go off the rails, they'd be like, oh, let's stop it now, versus like nothing happened. Nothing even happened right now. What are we doing? Why'd you stop it? So yeah.
Dude, talking about editing, I heard that they're redropping the Brady roast with Brady's mic on the whole time.
Oh,
apparently he was like, don't fucking say that.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was coming at people, and they muted him for the original one, so the person could get their jokes out.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently he was a savage, dude.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, I know the one who was like, "Did you ever fucking say that again?" It was about when they said something about the Robert Kraft. They said it was like, "Did you ever fucking say that again?" Because I remember they said. I heard later that you couldn't say nothing about Robert Kraft and massage parlors, and then of course, what's his name, being the Jeff Ross, being the roast master, comes up, yada yada, massages. You know, you can't tell a comedian what not to say, because then now I'm like, all right, well, we're definitely gonna say that kind of a thing. So, and it was weird, like talking about his kids and stuff. So I remember, I forget who, the one white chick who went way off, or who really just went in on him. Said that she like
Nikki
Glazer. They had like a lot more stuff about his kids, but everyone was like, no, like no, let's not talk weird about his kids. Like kind of like, no, they're not in this. We could talk, because there's a lot more how weird that Brady kisses his son on the mouth kind of a thing, and like how that little thing is. He's like, nah, let's not do that. Let's just focus more on him, because also that's it's gross. It's gross more than funny. Like hey, why are you doing this, Tom? So yeah.
I know Tony Hinchcliffe said on Rogan that when his opening thing, because he's coming up and he says, did you get those shoes in the divorce, bitch, or something? Yeah. I guess Brady says, why don't you come over here, I'll shove them up your ass. And they muted that so he could keep going, but he's all there, he's all, I had to just block that out so I could keep going. He's a lot bigger than you think he is.
Oh yeah, he's like 6'4", 6'5". Yeah.
And Tony Hinchcliffe, I don't think is taller
like
than me.
5'9", 5'10", or something like that. Yeah, like nah.
And 100 pounds wet.
Yeah, because you forget this is an athlete you're talking about. So Tom Brady is probably 6'4", 6'5", 220, 230, but he's like not like he's not like rocked up, but it's still like, oh shit, Brady, I didn't know you was that big. Like kind of and then Gronk at 6'7", like talking stuff, and then only the person who's like of normal height who looks like small is Julian Edelman, and he's 5'11", so he's still like tall,
Dude, Steph Curry looks small in the NBA and he's 6'3". Yeah. When I saw that blew my mind.
Yeah. I told my sister that, I was like, why? Like, well, how tall is Steph Curry? Like 5'9"? I was like, he's 6'3". She's like, he looks so small. I was like, well, Clay is 6'11". Draymond is 6'8". Harrison Barnes was like 6'8", 6'9". I figured the guy who had the mid range was like
Livingston,
yeah. He's like 5. He's 6'10". Then
insane.
Like Bogut is 7'1". Yeah.
And you're what, 6'1", 6'2"?
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot. Okay, yeah. And you're big compared to me because I'm 5'6".
Exactly.
So just like these people are twice as big as me, damn near.
Exactly. The funniest thing happened because LeBron and a bunch of people would always do camps in Santa Barbara, AUC Santa Barbara specifically, right? So they would use like, because I think Santa Barbara had like 5 or 7 like basketball gyms, right? I was like, why we got so many basketball gyms? And they was like, oh, people come here in the summer for like a training camp, or like they'll like use this for like 2-3 weeks. Like Jordan's camp was at Santa Barbara. Chris Paul will be there, stuff like that. They'll use the main gym too because it's not a lot of students. There's a lot of free time. And like also we can rent it out, make money and stuff like that, right? So there's a picture of my homie who's like about 5'6", and he's walking the Cleveland Cavaliers to where they need to be, and he looks like a midget. Like he looks super small. He looks like a little person because it is crazy because he's 5'6". There's LeBron who's 6'8", 6'9". There's like J.R. Smith who's like 6'6". Then there's like Tristan Thompson who's like 6'11". And then you just see like it's like a picture, like everyone's like, it looks normal size. And you just see him like over in a small little corner. It's like the funniest thing. If I can get it, if he has it still, like I'll try to send it in the group chat.
Imagine I do like NBA broadcasting and I'm just like basically asking for uppies every time.
Excuse me, sir. Can you
So what's up with your jump shot?
Yeah. Just like hold up. Hey, real quick. Step ladder. Remember? Step ladder. Just kind of
an apple box, damn it.
Yeah, it makes sense like when you see people like Cassidy Hubbard, it was like this fine ass Asian chick or whatever, and then like everybody's like bending down to talk to them because it's like you're like way up here, or you see them just like hecka like this because they have to do that.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, because you have to do that. Hey KD, what do you feel about getting swept to the finals by Anthony Edwards? Kind of a. So yeah, it is always funny too. Oh, speaking of that, transition. Do you remember? Did you ever hear the thing that they said? Doc Rivers' son, Austin Rivers, said that he knew 30 NBA players that could play in the NFL right now. Do you believe that?
I remember hearing about that.
Like, I always think that was stupid as hell. And then like basketball players was doubling down on it. It was like, yeah, if you was that good, you would be in the NBA. And I'm just like, no, bitch. Like, that's not, because I honestly feel that yes, basketball players are talented, but a lot of y'all are freakishly tall. It's not a lot of freakishly tall NFL players. Like Gronkowski, he's 6'7", but he'd probably play center or power forward. That's kind of undersized. Like Dwight Howard is 6'9", and is considered an undersized like center, but he was super athletic, right? So I'm like, then you have some linemen who are 6'8", 6'6". So you look at all the players in like football or DNs who are like 6'6", they're not tall, and they all play. A lot of like NFL players, like Antonio Gates, played at Kent State, I believe, and he was like a 6'4" power forward, dominating in the post, like averaging 25 and like 15. But he had no shot at the NBA because he was only 6'4". And to play like the power forward position, especially at the time, like Tim Duncan was like 7'1". So imagine a 6'4" guy going against a 7'1" guy. I feel like that was something that nobody ever talked about. I'm like, all you basketball dudes are super tall. Like we said, Steph Curry is 6'3". Antonio Gaines is 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm like one of the best shooters ever at 6'3", and you were trying to play power forward at 6'4". The only dude who was super talented who could play at that position was Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was only 6'4", but you think he's like 6'8", 6'9". But that's how athletic and how gifted he was, that he could play at 6'4" and play like the power forward position, but also he brought the ball up the court. So he could do like a multiple of things. Like Draymond Green is 6'8" and is considered undersized because he's like a power forward, and they put him at center at times. Versus going against like dudes like what's the name? Like Karl Anthony Towns is 6'11". KD is 6'11". What's the Greek Giannis is 6'11". Jokic is 7'1". The French guy, I keep forgetting, Rudy Gobert is 7'2", playing center.
7'2". I didn't know he's that.
He's tallish. That's why he's so long. Like Anthony Davis is 6'10".
Yeah, he looks like to be almost 7 foot.
Yeah, and the problem with Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis had a huge growth spurt between his senior year and his freshman year in college. Like Anthony Davis is actually a point guard. Like he was like, I think it was like 5'11". I think it was like this growth spurt went like this. He was like 5'9", 5'11", 6'1", 6'3", like going into college. So he got like recruited as like a guard. And then between his senior year and like leading up to the draft, he went from 6'3" to 6'9" to I think eventually like 6'11". That's why honestly, Anthony Davis sees himself as like a guard, but it's like, bruh, that was you a long time ago. Like That's why he struggles with like going in the post. Like he doesn't want to be like a center when he like really is one. He doesn't want to. He likes to shoot the ball more than everything. Damn, we cooking. So it's like all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, football players like you. But a lot of football players who wanted to play wanted to play basketball, didn't make it in the league because the thing that stopped them from going to the NBA was the fact that they wasn't tall. Like Julius Peppers is 6'6", one of the most giftedly talented guys who ever touched the football field, like super athletic. He started on North Carolina's basketball team, but he was okay. But if you see him, he's like rocked up, like super big and stuff. So you stepped off the football field and into basketball, like you don't have the same touch. Like you're not. Like basketball players like aren't like super big and strong like LeBron is, but he's like a freak of nature. But you see Anthony Davis, he's like skinny. KD is skinny. Steph.
And basketball is all about at the very end of like a drive is like being able to be really gentle.
Yeah, gentle.
Like with the finger roll.
And then like the touch on the stuff, like like you have like flexibility in your wrist to kind of like a thing like that. And if you like super like buff and you can't move around and stuff like that, it makes it messes up your shot. It throws all that stuff off. Like it's kind of like how a quarterback. They don't want quarterbacks to be super buff, because if you become super buff, then the tightness in your shoulders, you can't throw as accurately. Like it's like a muscle. You need to be like a fluid thrower, like stuff like that. You need like soft touch. They pinpoint and play stuff I think they broke it down was like if you lift a ton of weights, you don't have the same like flexibility in your wrist to kind of turn.
You don't have finger dexterity. You lose a lot.
Yeah, you lose a lot of that stuff because you're lifting so much, and so. That's the thing, like, when it comes to, like, the football players, like, yeah, you probably was, like, good to decent or, like, really good in college, but you had to switch because you weren't tall enough, or, like, you couldn't shoot it as well. Like, I'll say basketball players are much way better shooters because they have that touch on it, like, and probably they're not super built up, so it's not like they're not losing that dexterity to like kind of like shoot the ball and things like that. And it's also harder to come off a football field and go to a basketball. Like some people you do more in high school than in college, but a lot of basketball players can go from basketball to football like with ease, because then it's a whole different thing. You gotta like put on a bunch of weight, you gotta be physical, which a lot of basketball players aren't. Like, you know, like, and also if Anthony Davis is like 6'9", 6'11", we just gonna take your knees out, or we don't out physical you. Like, you tall, but we just gonna like get in your chest, like, cause it's like a leverage thing, and then you got to play through like contact. And that's always a thing with football. They always talk about like how everybody looks good in like shirts and shorts, wait till the pads to get on, because then there's a whole nother toughness that happens. And football players always say basketball players are soft, and they are to the extent of being soft when compared to the toughness of football, but they're not soft when it comes to basketball to an extent because I hate flopping.
Well, it's like fighters too. Like when you fight your whole life, your bones are more dense because they're getting hit all the time. Like what I hear when this transition thing, it's like football players spend their whole lives toughening up their bodies too, along with being strong. So like they can take damage in a way that these finesse sports like soccer and basketball, but those guys opposite, they have way more finger dexterity, probably way more body control. And you spend years doing that, and I don't think you can undo that. You've spent 15 to 26 building that up. That's the body you have now. It kind of gets, the software becomes hardware.
Only the super talented ones can do both. But then they have to make a decision which one they're better at, kind of a thing.
At one point, you got to pivot.
You got to pivot because it's like, all right, where do I have like you always hear quarterbacks playing baseball because you pitching, so you keep throwing, so it's more of the arm, but they don't want to overexhaust the arm, kind of a thing. And then also with that, they don't have to put on like a ton of muscle and things like that. Like you don't hear like a D lineman. Well, maybe you could be like a DH, like a hitter or something like that coming in, but that's like hand-eye coordination and the fact they're building, they like kind of thing like that. But it's never like like the thing the basketball players were saying, like, there's only 4 positions you can really play. They was like wide receiver, tight end. Because I'm not going to put you a tackle unless you go get like some freak who's like 260, but is like rocked up, like just super strong and stuff like that. Like, and I'm not going to put you at DN because that offensive tackle you're going to go against, who's 315 to 330 pounds, maybe more, depending on like how big he is, we're going to run right at you. And then we're going to bring a running back right behind him to just run you over. So it is like slim pickings. Like, so you could be receiver, or they said some quarterback, because there was one dude in the league who used to play quarterback. I think he was like a 4-star quarterback. I think Alabama wanted him, something like that. But he pursued basketball, and he's like good to has a name, and like, but ain't nobody playing like no safety. Like, they said the only person they could probably think could play safety is Russell Westbrook because just that physical and tenacity. He's like 6'3", but I'm still like, yeah, I don't know. He might be rough and rugged, but I still got to see it first. I got to see it before.
He's still going to ruin whatever franchise he's a part of.
That's true. Facts.
Don't care what sport it is, bro.
Don't care what sport it is. He'll be selfish as hell and stuff like that.
He'll have 17 interceptions and no touchdowns.
Exactly. 17 interceptions. Like, he'll pick the ball off and then he'll like fumble it and the other team recovers, and now they just got a good position on the field. Hell yeah. What time we at?
We're at 1:01, so we've just gone over an hour.
Okay, so let's wrap it up right there. That's good. Football players are more tougher than basketball players. You heard it here first. Austin Rivers, you was completely wrong, and no 30 NBA players can transition from NBA to play in football right now because there's only 2 positions y'all can play: tight end and wide receiver. And if y'all go across the middle, we're gonna rock your shit. And that's been the Corde Snell Show. Have you gotten your hour of Corde this week? Did you, because, just like Play 60, you know, hour of Corde to make your day better, to make your overall mood better, to help you put a smile on your face, all right? Also, hit us at our email at thecordesnellshow@gmail.com. All right, leave us a comment, leave us some questions. If you want to hear something more that we're talking about, you want to hear less week, let us know. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. Tell us something if you want to hear us have guests. If you want Jared to talk more, if you want Noah to talk more, let us know. And also, if you like more of this, please hit the like and subscribe button on the Corde Snell Show so we can put more great content for you. And thank you so much for listening. This is Corde Snell, and I'm out.